Okay, so this is the third time recording this video. First time around, I didn't have my mic plugged in, and then second time around, I recorded over the previous video on accident. Happens. So let's just make sure third time's the charm. Made sure that the audio is correct. Made sure that everything's going the way that it needs to go. So I'm just gonna basically go over the code instead. I mean, like, I could go through it. I don't think I mind going through it. I think for the sake of time and for the sake of in case I mess up again, which could happen, let's just go over the Python code that was written, and I could basically walk you through everything that I wrote up. Mistakes happen, and this is a new channel, so bear with me as I go through all of this. All right, so in the previous video, I had stated that where did I put that thing? Actually, let's just look at my quick access, recent, there it is. Where did I put the documents, thumbnails? Okay. This was the formula that we went through. We had the principal, or the loan amount that you requested, your interest rate, which is the monthly interest rate, and then your periods. And how does this translate over into a coding situation? So we start out by setting a variable. A variable is basically let's call it a box that holds information. So what we're doing is we're stating our principal, please input a loan amount whenever this code runs. So please input a loan amount in dollars. I'll walk through it once we start actually going through it. Then a down payment, which is typically what is needed to put a down payment on a house. An interest rate, which is what the bank typically gives you. The amount of years that you're borrowing this loan amount. Banks typically loan you out between 15 and 30 years, depending on the loan. I mean, it can vary. Then a loan calculator, which is our main function. It doesn't have to be like this. We could always do something where, like, we just define the payment to be this and export it out to be something else. But for the sake of this, all I did was set up a payment. So let's go over the monthly interest rate. We want to convert the interest rate into a decimal format. So instead of being what we type in is usually 2.5%, but without the percentage sign. And we want to convert that over into a typical decimal format, which is 0.0025 to do that. Basic math divided by 100, and which moves the decimal over 2 places to the left. If your teachers have taught you otherwise, don't listen to them. And then you want to divide that by 12 because we're looking at the monthly interest rate and not the yearly. The 2.5% that the bank usually gives you is what you're paying yearly. You want to find out what it is on a monthly basis. Then we also have the period, which is the amount of years times 12 months. So that's the amount of months that each time that this monthly payment is happening. Our payment then is, all we have to do is floating. It's just basically converting a string. So let's say this 100 is not equal to 100. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work anyways. But basically, anything in quotation marks, 100 versus the actual number 100. While these might be equal to us, like just reading it, it's different in computer terms. Like a string is a string. So a string is just a bunch of characters. It doesn't know that, like, it's a set of integers or a set of dollars. To float something, it just means that it has like a bunch of decimals after the decimal place. So all we're doing is converting our principal or loan amount We're subtracting the down payment that we had prior. We're multiplying that by the monthly interest rate. All we're doing is this formula. Monthly interest rate, move this right here, uh, 1 plus the monthly interest rate to the period. So you know how like you typically have, or how this is an exponent? Well, I believe JavaScript might have it as a caret, but in Python it's two exponent symbols. So instead of this means multiplication, this means to the power of. So period, and then you divide it by your bottom portion, 1 plus the monthly interest rate, exponent to the period minus 1. Feel free to pause the video if you need to copy this. I also have this. I'll probably upload it to GitHub. I'm sure I have it already there, but I will have a link down below in case I don't. And then mortgage equals loan calculator principal. So what we're doing here is we return the payment once all that's calculated. We call the function. So Python will run this. It'll ask you all these questions. Please input a loan amount in dollars. Please input a down payment, interest rate, and then years. And then it defines this function. We call that function by using what we defined prior. And then it returns us our mortgage or our monthly payments. So let's go ahead and run that. To run something, all I have to do is python.loan.py. Just make sure that this terminal down here is the same thing as a PowerShell window or a command prompt, where all you're doing is changing to where you have it. Documents.p Python. Fine. If I could ever spell code, financial code, same thing. Python loan.py. Please input a loan amount, $300,000. Please input a down payment, an amount of dollars. Let's say that we have the actual 20%, which is $60,000. Interest rate 2.5%, just because of the pandemic. It's still low. It might actually be 2.25%. Let's just do that. And the input the amount of years of the loan, and we're borrowing for 30 years. Where type error, unsupported string, and integers. So there's a string that I was talking about. Years. I might be an int. Where am I going wrong? Where's that line? Let's see. Monthly interest rate, float, interest rate, 100 divided. Oh, okay. Easy fix. Let's float that, then divide it, then do that. Let's see if that works. So we'll just run it in this terminal. Python loan amount $300,000. Down payment $60,000. Interest rate 2.5%, and amount of years 30 years. There we go. $948.29 is our monthly payment for that house, for a $300,000 house, given that we have a $60,000 down payment for it. So let's just go shopping real quick so I could demonstrate why I wanted to build this. Let's go to Zillow. And let's go Texas, because I've been eyeing Texas for a while. My wife knows this, but we'll probably never end up being out there. You never know. It could happen. For sale. And this is a nice home. Let's look at, well, this is close to what we had. I don't know. This looks fine. 35,000. Let's look at the interior. It could be a little bit renovated, but okay. Regardless, I mean, like I don't know why the first pic. I don't know why it uses this picture. The most elegant ones are these. Maybe they just wanted to show what it was prior and what it is now. I like that backyard. Okay, regardless, $305,000 has a price cut. They're estimating your payments. I wonder if this includes like your utilities, which is something that we're not including, but we could always add into it. $1,517. So let's just go ahead and pull up our calculator. And let's clear all that. All right. All you have to do, same thing, Python loan.py, $305,000. Down payment, let's say we have $10,000 only. Interest rate, let's say we have a good credit score, 2.25. Actually, just 2%. We'll see what that gives us. And please input the amount of years. Let's say we're paying this off for 30 years. That's only $1,090 for a $305,000 house. So that's big. If you don't want to go through the whole hassle of like coding all this out, I do have a calculator that I built out, allinonemoney.com, mortgage calculator, mentioned it prior. I'll probably have it linked down below. So let's just go down to 2%, 30 years. I want to show you guys what the total interest is for that given period. 305,000, and let's say the 10, like I said, $10,000 down payment, calculate it, 1090, 38. So after 30 years, you have paid almost $1 million, guys. No. See, whoa, my bad. Almost $100,000. $97,535. And what the one on my website basically does, it'll show you how much of your payments initially are going towards interest and how much are going towards principal. So say we have a larger down payment. We have $15,000. This doesn't also include utilities or FHA loans with like the mortgage interest that you might also be paying in case you don't have like a 20% down payment, I believe is what the banks typically require. Higher, your payments go down. And you can also see, like, say you pay an extra, I don't know, $1,000 a month on it, so $1,600. So that's what your monthly payments are, but your total amount of interest goes down to $40,000, and you're done with that payment in 13 years. Given you have to find another way to get $1,000 each month towards this, but that basically cuts your loan in half. So let's say we don't want to use that calculator for that, but let's go find a car. Let's find a car. Let's dream, guys. McLaren 720 price. $299,000. Wow, that's right on the money at $300,000. But it changes just because of the. Sorry, guys. Trying to set this up right now. Okay. And pull this up. So we'll just run Python loan.py. Okay. Let's say we have $299,000 for the car. We want to put down a down payment of, I'm broke, so let's say $5,000. And then, I don't know, interest rates for cars. What's a common interest rate for a car? What is a good interest rate for cars? 4.5%. All right, this is going to hurt me just seeing this, but 4.5%. Amount of years, I think it's 5 years for a car. Loan length for cars. 12 months. Okay, so yeah, it's around like 5 years. Okay, so your monthly payment for a McLaren, even though the car's really nice, $299,000, your monthly payment would come out to be around $5,481, which at that point, just buy a house. Just buy a house. I mean, like, yes, you're done with it in 5 years, and if you can afford it, go for it. Let's look at what the interest is for that total. So $299,000. You have $5,000 to put down on it, and you're not paying anything extra. So let's just put a 0 there. 4.5%, and only 5 years, just to match everything up. $34,000, $862 over a lifespan of 5 years. I mean, like, hey, you got the payments? Go for it. But I will stick to my Toyota Corolla for the time being. All right. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, I know it was shorter than I anticipated. Honestly, when I had it prior, I had the video going for a solid like 17 minutes, and maybe it's for the best that I over recorded on it. But please leave a like down below, and please subscribe if you actually enjoyed the content. If you like more videos like this where like we just go explore cars and see what the monthly payments are, or we go do something else, I don't know. Just give me a comment down below. Appreciate all the feedback I can get. Thank you so much.